Right, so this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Alien Resurrection 1997. This is going to be another Karate Man recommendation. Giving it 5 out of 5 stars. I love this sequel. This has got to be the best sequel by far. I don't remember the second Alien movie. This is Alien 4. But I know the third one was kind of lame metaphor on AIDS epidemic. So this one was much far superior. One of those crazy Jean-Pierre Jeunet movies. Alien Resurrection is a 1997 U.S. science fiction horror film directed by the aforementioned Jean-Pierre Jeunet. It did a lot of crazy films like The City of Lost Children and Delicatessen. All right. And it's got some of the same actors that this director uses. It's got Ron Perlman, and the tiny French dude is hilarious in this one. We're talking about Dominique Pinon. All right. This is written by Josh Whedon and starring Sigourney Weaver and Winona Ryder. It is the 4th installment of the Alien franchise, and it was filmed at 20th Century Fox Studios in Los Angeles, California, set 200 years after the preceding installment, Alien 3, 1992. Ellen Ripley is cloned, and an alien queen is surgically removed from her body. The United Systems Military, USM, hopes to breed aliens to study and research on the spaceship USM Auriga, using human hosts abducted and delivered to them by a group of mercenaries. The aliens escape their enclosures, and Ripley and the mercenaries attempt to escape and to destroy the Auriga before it reaches Earth. Additional roles are played by Ron Perlman, Dan Hedaya, J.E. Friedman, Brad Dourif, and Michael Wincott from The Crow. Oh, man. We like Michael Wincott in The Crow. Great flick with the great Bai Ling. Alien Resurrection had its premiere in Paris on November 6, 1997, and was released to the public on November 12th. It grossed US $47.8 million in the United States and Canada, making it the least successful of the Alien series in that market. It grossed $161 million worldwide. So we have production companies, 20th Century Fox and Brandywine Productions, distributed by 20th Century Fox. Release date November 6, 1997. World premiere November 12th, 1997 in France. November 26, 1997 in the United States. Running time, a long 109 minutes. I wanted to see the director's cut, but they're making me buy it, and I just want to rent it for one day. I don't want to buy the whole thing. I hate it when they do that with television shows too. Country, United States, language, English. Budget, $70 million, and a box office of $161.4 million. A sequel to Resurrection was planned, as Whedon had written an Earth-set script for Alien 5. Sigourney Weaver was not interested in this setting, but she remained open to reprising her role as Ellen Ripley on the condition that she liked the story. More sequels were planned to follow Resurrection, but they were ultimately abandoned as the crossover series arrived in with the 2004 film Alien versus Predator, along with the prequel series, including the 2012 film Prometheus. The storylines of Resurrection have continued in the comic series Aliens versus Predator versus the Terminator, and books Aliens Original Sin and Alien Sea of Sorrows. Do I have Alien versus Predator on my list? Karate Man's in the chat room. I knew he was responsible for this recommendation. You are awesome, dude. I love this director. And it just so happens that he did a bunch of weird French films, namely Delicatessen and The City of Lost Children. Karate Man says, saw this one back in 2016 when I got the Alien quadrilogy DVD set. It was okay, but not as good as the first two. Are you kidding me? This movie is the best out of the four, but slightly better than three. Well, I might revisit them in the future to rank them. I don't even remember number two, honestly, or the first one for that matter. Been a long time since I watched this Alien sequel. Yes, I said long 4 times. Sue me. This is the most awesome sequel ever, bar none. 200 years after the events of Alien 3, military scientists aboard the space vessel USM Auriga create a clone of Ellen Ripley designated Ripley 8, using DNA from blood samples taken before her death. The xenomorph Queen's DNA has been combined with Ripley's, resulting in the clone growing up with an embryo inside it. The scientists extract the embryo, raise it, and collect its eggs while keeping Ripley 8 alive for further study. We're talking Brad Dourif here. As a result of the xenomorph Queen's DNA, the clone possesses enhanced strength and reflexes, acidic blood, and a psychic link with xenomorphs, making her more empathetic toward them than the humans she encounters. Additionally, the xenomorph's genetic memory allows the clone to retain some of Ripley's memories. A group of mercenaries, Elgin, John Christie, Vrice, Hillard, and Cal, arrives at the Auriga on their ship, the Betty, delivering several abducted humans in stasis. The military scientists use the humans as hosts for the aliens, raising several adult xenomorphs for study. The Betty crew soon encounters Ripley, and Annalie Call recognizes her name, and she attempts to kill her, suspecting that Ripley 8 may be used to create xenomorphs, but the creatures have already been cloned. The mature xenomorphs escape confinement by killing one of their own and by using its acidic blood to burn through their enclosures. They capture Dr. Jonathan Gettyman. They damage the Auriga, and they kill most of the crew who failed to evacuate, including General Perez and Elgin. Military scientist Dr. Wren reveals that the ship's default command in emergency is to return to Earth, realizing this would unleash the xenomorphs on Earth. Ripley 8, the mercenaries, Wren, a soldier named D. Stefano, and surviving xenomorph host Purvis decide to head for the Betty, and they use it to destroy the Aruga. Along the way, Ripley 8 discovers a laboratory containing the gross results of the previous 7 failed attempts to clone Ellen Ripley. Yes, we've got the Recombo DNA lab that Ellen Ripley 8 sets on fire for no apparent reason. One survivor begs Ripley to euthanize her. She hesitantly complies and then incinerates the lab. So you got Ripley 8 failed scientific experiment with the arm that's backwards, saying, "Please kill me. Please kill me." This movie's great. The small French dude who says, "Who did you think it was, Santa Claus?" He's great too. I love that guy in all of his movies. He's the one who used to hang out at the French cafe and say, what did he say? Alpha male, the alpha male. I love this guy. As the group navigates the damaged ship, they swim through a flooded kitchen pursued by 2 xenomorphs. One is killed while the other snatches Hilliard. As they escape the kitchen, the xenomorph returns and it blinds Christie, who sacrifices herself to kill the creature. Ren betrays. We've got more self-sacrifice, just like the third one. How can you forget the third one? It's probably the worst out of all 4 of them. The third one is just ridiculous. Bald-headed Sigourney Weaver. Ren betrays the group and he shoots Callie, revealing in her survival that she is Ren is female, excuse me. Ren betrays the group and she shoots Callie. Or a call, excuse me, revealing in her survival that she is an android, using her ability to interface with the. Oh, Ren is the male. Okay, so he does reveal. Wait a minute. Ren betrays the group and he shoots Cal, revealing in her survival that she is an android. There. I said it right. Using her ability to interface with the Aruga's systems, Cal sets the ship on a collision course with Earth, hoping to destroy the xenomorphs in the crash. She cuts off Ren's escape route, and she directs the xenomorphs towards him. Ripley 8 is captured by Xenomorph, while the others head for the Betty. Ren, already aboard, shoots Purvis, takes Cal hostage, and she demands that she abort the collision. Oh, he demands that she abort the collision. All right. So we've got this crazy military guys who will do anything to save the monsters, even as they're killing other monsters. There's a great scene where a guy goes like this. This big hairy guy. I forget his name, but it'll come to me. I should have put his name in the description box. He goes like this, and the alien just shoots out one of its tiny little heads through the guy's back, and he just reaches back and I think it goes through his head or something, and he just reaches back and pulls out a little piece of human meat from his head. All right. An injured Purvis attacks and grapples Ren, causing his xenomorph's embryo's emergence to kill them both. The survivors shoot and they kill the juvenile xenomorph. Only certain guns work against these creatures, I guess. The ones that Ripley has. Ripley 8 is taken to the xenomorph nest where she finds Jeunet alive and partially cocooned. So you got Brad Dourif going, oh, beautiful butterfly. Such a beautiful. Brad Dourif is great too. The xenomorph queen, having developed a uterus due to her genetic contamination with Ripley 8, gives birth to a xenomorph with overtly human traits. Unable to bond with the queen, the hybrid xenomorph recognizes Ripley 8 as his mother, and it kills the xenomorph queen and Jeunet. It just rips off Brad Dourif's head somehow. Ripley 8 takes advantage of the distraction to escape, and she makes her way to the Betty. she just jumps through outer space onto the spaceship. The newborn hybrid reaches the ship, and it attacks Cal, killing DeStefano when he tries to help her. Ripley 8 saves Cal by distracting the hybrid. Using her acidic blood, Ripley 8 melts a hole in the window and pushes the hybrid towards it. Ripley 8 tearfully watches as the decompression violently eviscerates the creature through the hole and it blows its pulverized remains out into outer space. Another great scene. The countdown on the Auriga continues as Ripley 8, Cal, Johnner, and Vries escape in the Betty. The Auriga collides with Earth, causing a large explosion. Michael Wincott is Jeff Wincott's real-life brother. They both look so alike. Obviously, they should have done an action movie together. Both the Wincott brothers. Both the Wincotts are underrated. Yeah, you're telling me. By the way, one random mention, Elisa Dushku, who played Arnold's daughters in True Lies, became hot when she got much older, to be perfectly honest. If you search on Google, you will see what I mean. This is a weird movie, still better. Oh, Adam is in the chat room. This is a weird movie, still better than Alien 3, though. I think it's better than all three of them. What are you two talking about? This French director, you have not seen Delicatessen and City of Lost Children to put this movie in perspective. This guy is a freaking genius. He's known for his on Wikipedia, it says his films combine fantasy, realism, and science fiction to create idealized realities or to give relevance to mundane situations. Oh man, this director is awesome. I love all of his work. No exception. All right, so we're going down to look at the cast. Karate Man says, Elisa Dushku. I didn't care for the original. I don't even remember the second one, honestly. This is the only one that you need to watch. Really. So we've got, let's see, Elisa Dushku. I don't even see her name in here. What does Elisa Dushku have to do with Alien 4? I'm confused now. Oh, I see. Karate Man is changing the subject again. He's talking about another movie because he doesn't remember this one. All right. Who is the guy who went like this? He's got to be in here. I know I've seen this guy. Anyway, impressed with his work as screenwriter, 20th Century Fox hired Joss Whedon to write the film's script. Whedon's initial screenplay had a third act on Earth with a final battle for Earth itself. Whedon wrote 5 sections of the final act, none of which ended up in the film. Now, I would have loved to have Karate Man's can't stop thinking about he's got a fetish for this actress in True Lives. Was that before or after she got older? Sorry. I didn't mean to apply anything. All right. Whedon wrote 5 versions of the final act, none of which ended up in the film. By the way, I wanted to see the director's cut of this, but both YouTube and Amazon Prime are they're forcing me to hit the buy button. I don't want to buy it. I just want to rent it. Anyways, that's my pet peeve for today. The studio initially imagined that the film would center around a clone of the character Newt from Aliens. As the Ellen Ripley character had died at the end of Alien 3, Whedon composed a 30-page treatment surrounding this idea before being informed that the studio, though impressed with the script, now intended to base the story on a clone of Ripley, whom they saw as the anchor of the series. Whedon had to rewrite the script in a way that would bring back the Ripley character, a task he found difficult. The idea of cloning was suggested by producers David Giler and Walter Hill, who opposed the production of Alien Resurrection as they thought it would ruin the franchise. And it did. But I still say this is one of those so bad that it's good type movies. I don't know how you cannot like this movie. Sigourney Weaver, who played Ripley throughout the series, wanted to liberate the character in Alien 3, as she did not want Ripley to become a figure of fun who would continuously wake up with monsters running around. The possibility of an Alien versus Predator film was another reason for the character's death, as she thought the concept sounded awful. It was awful. However, Weaver was impressed with Whedon's script. She thought that the error during Ripley's cloning process will allow her to further explore the character, since Ripley became part human and part alien. Ripley becoming part human and part alien would create uncertainty about where her loyalties lay. This was an interesting concept to Weaver, who thought the film brought back the spirit of aliens and aliens. Weaver received a co-producer credit, and she was reportedly paid $11 million. Not bad. A Trainspotting director, Danny Boyle, was the producer's first choice to direct the film. Boyle and his producers met with the effects supervisors to discuss the film, but he was not interested in pursuing the project, and he went on to make A Life Less Ordinary instead. Peter Jackson was also approached, but he declined. as he could not get excited about an alien film. In 1995, after the release of The Usual Suspects, 20th Century Fox approached Bryan Singer to direct. Jean-Pierre Jeunet was asked to direct, as the film's producers believed he had a unique visual style. Yeah, that's an understatement. Jeunet had just completed the script to Emily. I did not like Emily. That's the one film that I did not like. I take it back. I thought every single film he had done was top notch. Emily is the one film that I did not like. And he was surprised he was offered the job for Alien Resurrection, as he thought the franchise had finished with Alien 3, and he believed that making a sequel was a bad idea. Jeunet, however, accepted the project with a budget of $70 million. He required an interpreter, as he did not speak much English when filming began. Jeunet hired French special effects supervisor Pitoff and cinematographer Darius Konji, both of whom he had worked with The City of Lost Children. Great flick. Nigel Phelps was chosen for production designer, having made a name for himself designing Gotham City and Batman, and Mega City 1 and Judge Dredd. Jeunet and his crew watched the last science fiction and alien films as reference material. Jeunet and his crew watched the latest science fiction and alien films as reference material, and they obtained production reports from the alien films to study the camera setups. Jeunet was given creative control, contributing several elements to the script, including the 5 different endings. Although the expensive ones were dismissed, he also opted to make the film a dark comedy, and he was encouraged to include more violence. In June 1996, Jeunet's frequent co-director, conceptual artist Mark Carroll, had drawn through rough sketches of characters' costumes, which were shown to veteran costume designer Bob Ringwood. Ringwood made several modifications for the final design. Special effects company Amalgamated Dynamics Incorporated, ADI, was hired for the film. Having previously worked on Alien 3, ADI founders Tom Woodruff Jr. and Alex Guinness also had experience working with Stan Winston on Aliens. ADI based their designs and modifications of the alien creatures on the film's script, which included the creatures having pointed tails for swimming, making their head domes and chins more pointed, and establishing them to appear more vicious using techniques of camera angles and shot duration. The original design of the human-alien hybrid included a mix of female and male sex organs, which were removed during post-production. After reaching the director's approval, ADI began to create small sculptures, sketches, paintings, and life-size models, referring to the use of animatronics in the film. 20th Century Fox executive Tom Rothman stated, "Most movies would be tempted to do the newborn digitally, but it looks so much more real when you use animatronics." Jeunet asked ADI to lean towards making the human-alien hybrid creature more human than alien. An early concept was to replicate Sigourney Weaver's features, although the crew felt this design would be too similar to the design of the creature Syl from the 1995 film Species. Eyes and a nose were added to the hybrid to allow it to have more expressions and communicate more emotion than the xenomorphs, so that it would have more depth as a character rather than being just a killing machine. Jeunet was adamant about the hybrid having genitalia, which resembled a mix of male and female sexes. Too bad they didn't keep that in. That would have been cool. 20th Century Fox was uncomfortable with this, however, and Jeunet eventually changed his mind, feeling that even for a Frenchman, it's too much. The genitalia were removed during post-production using digital effects techniques. The animatronic hybrid required 9 puppeteers and was the most complex animatronic in the film. Alien Resurrection was filmed at Fox Studios in Los Angeles, California from October 1996 to February 1997. Jeunet had difficulty securing studio space as the filming of Hollywood blockbusters such as Titanic, Starship Troopers, and The Lost World Jurassic Park were taking place at the same time. Alien Resurrection was the first installment in the Alien series to be filmed outside England, a decision made by Weaver, who believed that the previous films' travel schedules exhausted the crew. The underwater scene was the first to be shot for its filming. Stage 16 at Fox Studios was reconstructed into a 36 by 45 meter tank, 4.5 meters deep, containing 548,000 gallons of water. The decision was made to convert the stage rather than film the scene elsewhere, since moving the film crew to the nearest adequate facility in San Diego would have been too costly for a single scene, and by converting stage 16, 20th Century Fox would be able to use the tank for future films. Because of the aquatic filming, the ability to swim was a prerequisite for cast and crew when signing on to the film. The cast trained in swimming pools in Los Angeles with professional divers to learn how to use the equipment. An additional 2.5 weeks of training took place at the studio with stunt coordinator Ernie Orsatti and underwater cinematographer Peter Romano. Weaver, however, was unable to participate in most of the training due to commitments on Broadway. Winona Ryder faced a challenge with the scene as she nearly drowned at age 12 and has not been in the water since. She suggested using a body double, but knew that it would be too obvious to audiences due to the difference in hair length. She filmed the scene, but suffered from anxiety on the first day of filming. Oh, poor Winona Ryder. Oh, she's so traumatized. Okay, Weaver had the idea that as an example of Ripley's new powers, there could be a scene in which she threw a basketball through the hoop backwards. Jeunet was concerned that the shot would require hundreds of takes and wanted to either use a machine to throw the ball or to insert it later using computer-generated imagery, CGI. But Weaver was determined to make the shot authentic, and she insisted on doing it herself. After training for a month, during which she averaged 1 out of 6 baskets, she arrived on the set on the day of filming to find that the set was built to require a much longer shot than she had practiced for. Despite this, on the first take, she made the throw perfectly. It amazed the cast and crew, and it caused Ron Perlman to break character and turn to the camera to say, OMG, leading to fears that he had ruined the once-in-a-lifetime take. However, there was enough of a pause between Weaver's basket and Perlman's statement for the film editors to cut the scene accordingly. During post-production, the ball was out of frame for a moment during the shot, and Pitoff ordered to edit it so that the ball was on screen for the entire scene, but Weaver refused. The film's script was laid out similar to a comic book with pictures on the left and dialogue and descriptions on the right. Jeunet planned every shot, which made it easier for visual effects artists to do their work. Blue Sky Studios was hired to create the first CGI aliens to appear on film. Impressed with the company's work on Joe's apartment, creating CGI cockroaches, Jeunet and Pitoff opted to hire the company to create 30 to 40 shots of CGI aliens. The decision was made to use CGI aliens rather than puppets or suited actors whenever the creature's legs were in frame, as Jeunet felt that a man in a suit is easy to distinguish when the full body is seen. All of the spaceships in the film were miniatures, as visual effects supervisors believed CGI was not effective enough to create realistic spaceships. The USM Auriga was originally designed by artist Nigel Phelps, and it resembled a medical instrument. This design proved to be too vertical for the film's opening shot, in which the camera pans out to show the ship, and it did not appear satisfactory in the film's 2.35 to 1 aspect ratio. 3 days before the design had to be finalized, Jeunet rejected it. Phelps, production illustrator Jim Martin, and concept artist Sylvain Disperez were tasked to redesign the ship. Jeunet felt Martin's design was too much like a space station, while he accepted Desperet's design due to its streamlined and horizontal appearance. Argonaut Games, developer of the film's tie-in video game, was also tasked to create a game that would appear in the film titled Atom Zone. The game was created within a time frame of a few days and involved building of custom hardware to run the game, which briefly appears during the film's introduction of Betty's crew. Another great scene. You're watching the film and you're folding to okay, Karate Man, you're fooled into thinking that a ship got shot, but actually it was a video game. Another great scene. All right, Karate Man's on his Elisa Disco kick, which has nothing to do with this movie. Even though he has the complete set of all 4 films, he's choosing to focus his ultimate concern on this actress. Coincidentally, Elisa Dushku was at the same 2009 Comic-Con where Sigourney Weaver was sitting close to. So there's a little coincidence right there. I know I'm so obsessed with her. If only she was single, I wonder. Yeah. She'd probably divorce you after 1 month, like all the other Hollywood actresses do. All right. Composer John Fritzl was encouraged by a friend to audition to compose Alien Resurrection's film score. Fritzl sent in 4 cassettes, and he received a call from 20th Century Fox about the 4th, which contained music from The Empty Mirror. Impressed with his work, Fox representative Robert Kraft had a short meeting with Fritzl, and he hired him. At that time, Fritzl was a newcomer in film composing history, having previously worked on Beavis and Butthead, Do America, and Dante's Peak. He spent 7 months writing and recording the score, which Jeunet requested to be very different and unique from the previous films in this series. I actually like the score on this flick. This included themes of romance and eroticism, incorporating sound effects such as gong and rub rod. The cue They Swim took 1 month to complete, as Jeunet was not pleased with Fritzl's original Frizzle's original version, although the final result was a mix between the first and third versions he had composed. On Popeye the Sailor Man, Popeye's theme song, written by Sammy Lerner, is whistled by Dom Vries, and it is acknowledged in the credits. The film had its premiere in Paris on November 6, 1997, before opening in France on November 12th. It opened in the US and Canada on November 26th. Alien Resurrection was first released onto home video in the VHS, Laserdisc, and DVD formats on June 2nd, 1998. The film received its first Blu-ray release as part of the Alien Anthology box set released in 2010, including all 4 films and their alternate versions. The film was re-released on Blu-ray on May 10th, 2011 in a standalone feature. In 2003, Jeunet included an alternate version of the film on the Alien Quadrology DVD box set. I guess that's the one that Karate Man has, with different opening and closing scenes, which were originally cut due to budget restrictions. The deleted scenes include references to the character Newt from Aliens, Vries making a joke to Carl, Ripley's clone waking up in the middle of her operation, an extended conversation between General Perez and Elgin, an extended conversation in the mess hall that reveals the eventual fate of Ripley's former employers, Wyland Yutani, an extended dialogue between Cal and Ripley's clone in the chapel, and scenes of the Betty landing on Earth and the planet's landscape during the final dialogue between Ripley and Cal as they view the ruins of Paris. The special edition restores 13 minutes and 5 seconds worth of footage, including the new opening and ending, and is 7 minutes longer than the theatrical version. I wish I could have seen the uncut version. Jeunet has stated that the special edition is not the director's cut, as his preferred version is the theatrical cut. Okay, well, maybe not. Maybe the special edition is not the better of the two. I take back what I said. Alien Quadrology contains a documentary called One Step Beyond the Making of Alien Resurrection, featuring over 2 hours of footage relating to pre-production, production, post-production, screen tests, concept art, and audio commentary by the cast and crew. Alien Resurrection Collector's Edition, which also includes One Step Beyond the Making of Alien Resurrection, was released on January 6, 2004. Alien Resurrection opened in France on November 12, 1997 on 500 screens and had over 1 million admissions for the week and a gross of $6,754,530, finishing at the top of the French box office. You've got a French director and a French actor, and you've got Ron Perlman. The film was released in the United States and Canada on November 26, debuting at number 2 at the box office behind Flubber. Alien Resurrection grossed $25 million in its first 5 days, $16 million over the weekend, for an average of $6,821 per 2,415 theaters. It went on to gross $47.8 million in the United States and Canada, making it the lowest grossing installment of the Alien series in that market. It was well received internationally, however, with a gross of $113.6 million, bringing its total gross to $164 $161.4 million. It was the 43rd highest grossing film in the US and Canada in 1997. In the UK, Alien Resurrection beat out The Full Monty to reach the number one spot, collecting $4.4 million during its opening weekend. It surpassed Bram Stoker's Dracula for having the highest opening weekend for an 18 certificate film, a record held until the release of American Beauty in 2000. The film also had the second highest opening for a 20th century Fox film in Spain, behind Independence Day. Weaver's appearance as Ripley was widely praised by critics. As of August 2024, 55% of the 160 reviews compiled by Rotten Tomatoes are positive and have an average rating of 5.9 out of 10. The website's critical consensus reads, while Sigourney Weaver's feral performance as a resurrected Ripley restores some fun to the Alien franchise, the acid blood running through this fourth entry's veins corrodes whatever emotional investment audiences had left. Metacritic assigned the film a score of 63 out of 100 based on 21 reviews, indicating general favorable reviews. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of a B- on an A+ to F scale. So pretty decent critical reaction. Lisa Skourbong from Entertainment Weekly gave the film a B+, stated by rocketing ahead 200 years from the previous film and jiggering the story cleverly to create a Ripley reconstructed through a mix of human and alien DNA. Alien Resurrection power kicks the whole definition of the horrifying other into a fresh, deep, exhilarating, thoughtful, millennium-sensitive direction. Radio Times' Alan Jones described the film as tense, mordantly funny, very graphic and bloody, and he praised Weaver in 4 out of 5 stars review. I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. Forget you people. Houston Chronicle editor Louis B. Parks said the film is a marvel, a well-photographed feast of visual imagery. Yeah, that's an understatement. While Richard Schickel of Time wrote that it was less frightening but as much fun as ever, the Washington Post contributor Desson Thompson felt it satisfactorily recycles the great surprises that made the first movie so powerful, and most significantly, it makes a big hoot out of the whole business. Cool. Andrew Johnston commented in Time Out New York that if Ripley Cowell, is it Cowell or Kale? I can't read it. And the pirates have been developed further, the film might have been as involving as James Cameron's Aliens, the gold standard of the series. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of James Cameron. The film's gothic look is gorgeously immersive, however, and Jeunet turns in a number of original and grotesque effects, sequences that are worth the price of admission. Salon's Laura Miller noted, Weaver obviously relishes playing this feral, sarcastic new Ripley, and her pleasure is infectious. Rolling Stone's critic Peter Travers' review was mostly positive, writing that the film is sometimes glib and repetitive, but it stays worthy of its predecessors by staying close to its 2 battered heroines. TV Guide magazine's Maitland McDonough wrote in her mixed review, the plot is more of the same old running and screaming, but Weaver is worth the price of admission all by herself, which is just as well in light of the less than fleshed out characters by whom she's surrounded. I don't know. I like the midget French guy. He's always funny. James Berardinelli also gave a mixed review at Real Views by writing, if you consider Alien and Aliens to be the main course, then Alien Resurrection is leftovers. Jeffrey Overstreet of Looking Closer rated the film C+, and commented, what began as the most menacing movie monster of all has evolved into a whining oaf that looks like it's been dipped in a vat of cream of wheat. That's why we like it so much. It's a genetic mutation. Jeanette Maslin from the New York Times reported, the filmmaker's ghoulishly fecund imagination makes this tale so murky that even the screen's toughest woman warrior remains largely stuck in the mud. Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times gave the film a negative review, stating there is not a single shot in the movie to fill one with wonder, later naming it one of the worst films of 1997. If Roger Ebert tells you that it's one of the worst films of 1997, that's that's a cue right there for you to go check it out. Screenwriter Josh Whedon was unhappy with the final project, remarking it closely followed his script, but it was poorly executed. Conversely, H.R. Geiger, designer of the original Alien, was pleased with Resurrection, describing it as an excellent film, but he was disappointed about not being credited. For the 25th anniversary of Alien Resurrection, director Jean-Pierre Jeunet watched a 35 millimeter print of the film. I was a little bit concerned to watch my film. Maybe I won't like it, he says. No, it was great. I have a lot of shots that I love. For the people who don't like it, I can say, F you. Well said. To coincide with the release of the film, a book titled Making of Alien Resurrection was released on November 28th, 1997. Oh, I'm losing my voice here. A novelization of the film by A.C. Crispin, released on December 1st, 1997. Dark Horse Comics also published a 2-issue comic book adaptation. That must be pretty good collector's item. A video game, Alien Resurrection, for the PlayStation was released in 2000, developed by Argonaut Games. Josh Whedon had written an Earth-set script for Alien 5, but Sigourney Weaver was not interested in the setting, and she sought to return the story to the planetoid from the first film. Weaver has remained open to a role in the 5th installment on the condition that she likes the story. Before 20th Century Fox greenlit Aliens vs. Predator, James Cameron had been collaborating on a plot for a 5th Alien film with another writer. Learning of Fox's plans for a crossover, he ceased work on his concept. Before he saw the film, Cameron had stated that it would kill the validity of the franchise and that it was Frankenstein meets werewolf, like Universal just taking their assets and starting to play them off against each other. Although he later admitted to liking Alien vs. Predator, Cameron ruled out any future involvement with the series. In a 2002 interview, Ridley Scott stated that a new Alien project would be a lot of fun, but that the most important thing was to get the story right. Scott's concept for the plot was to go back to where the alien creatures were first found and explain how they were created. In late 2008, Weaver hinted in an interview with MTV that she and Scott were working on an Alien spin-off film which would focus on the chronicles of Ellen Ripley rather than on the aliens, but the continuation of Ripley's story has not materialized. Instead, Prometheus was released on June 8th, 2012. A sequel to Prometheus titled Alien Covenant was released on May 19th, 2017. So I'm going to go see what other people rank these alien these alien spin-off movies. All right, so we got Alien series, Alien movies ranked. Okay. So on Screen Rant, this movie, Alien Resurrection, is actually one of the worst ones on their list, which means it's worth you checking out. The other two that I want to see are Aliens versus Predator Requiem and Alien versus Predator. All right. What's the difference between the Requiem? Requiem is 2007 and Alien versus Predator is 2004. I do feel like there is more story to tell. I feel a longing from fans for the story to be finished. I could imagine a situation where we finish telling the story. She was quoted, "I don't think Alien belongs on Earth, popping out of a haystack," which is where I was afraid it was going to go. "I feel it should take place in the far reaches of the universe where no one in their right mind would go. There are very few filmmakers that I can think of that I would want to entrust this to." Conceded Sigourney Weaver. The Ballad Ho in 2017. 20th Century Fox was rumored to be reassessing the state of the franchise after the lukewarm reception to Covenant, although they have not released an official statement to that effect. According to Collider.com, there will be one additional prequel film before a soft reboot is made to the Alien universe, consisting of a new series of Alien films with brand new original characters as well as a new setting. At the 2019 CinemaCon, following the Walt Disney Company's acquisition of 20th Century Fox, it was officially confirmed that future Alien films were currently in development. Fede Alvarez would be writing and directing the film, which is now titled Alien Romulus. The film, which is set between Alien 1979 and Aliens 1986, was released on August 16th, 2024. All right. I didn't think the original Alien, is it Alien? Yeah, I didn't think the original Alien from 1979 was that great. I thought it was good, but it just was way overhyped, that movie. All right. Alien Resurrection, 1997, rated R, 1 hour, 49 minutes. Its popularity is 1,653, down 188. Gets a pretty decent 6.2 out of 10 on the IMDb, 2,780 ratings. 2 centuries after her death, a powerful human-alien hybrid clone of Ellen Ripley aids a crew of spaceship pirates in stopping the aliens from reaching Earth. More like this. Alien 3, Alien Covenant, Aliens, and Prometheus. I'm going to check out Alien Covenant and Prometheus, as well as the Alien versus Predator Requiem and the Aliens versus Predator Requiem and the Alien versus Predator. So I got 4 to add to my list. I think I already have Alien versus Predator on my list, but I'll double check. If my screen stop showing up white. Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders. It took 3 weeks to film the underwater scenes. I haven't seen it, but I'll add it to my list. I have not seen Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders. Sorry. Let's try to reload this page. So I'm looking at Alien versus... maybe not. Sorry, I hit a stumbling block here. But I've got another dude in the room. Bronson Wright Wolf is in the room. We had Adam before and Karate Man. Now it's just Bronson Wright Wolf in the chat room. I can't seem to get any of my screens up because my computer is being naughty. Why are you making me wait, computer? What's going on here? Anyways, so welcome to the Christmas edition of my channel. I hope you are enjoying my 1 hour review of Alien Resurrection. I thought I was going to finish it up, but now I can't see my computer screen. Let's see if my movies list will pop up. Hey! All right, so next 3 on my list are Desperate Journey, 1942, Witchfinder General, also known as Conqueror Worm, 1968, and then Balance of Power, 1996. Come on. Oh, it's reconnecting. Isn't that nice? Come on. You know what? I'm just going to close this and open a new tab. Forget this. It's taking way too long. What is going on in this world? All right. Now it's loading the page. Finally. sometimes it's just a matter of closing out the tab and then reopening another one. All right. So we said the more like this, we've got Alien Covenant and Prometheus, both of which I've got to add to my list. Sigourney Weaver originally refused to do a fourth Alien film. When asked why she changed her mind, she replied, "They basically drove a dump truck full of money to my house." Yeah, $11 million. Not bad. At around 30 minutes, when Ripley drives Cal's knife through her own hand, it does not get damaged by the acid in her blood, even though it's soaked in it. In other scenes, just a few drops of Ripley's blood burn through the thick metal, which would suggest that the knife's blade should also be burned. Quotes, Johnner says, "Hey, Ripley, I heard you ran into these things before." Ripley says, "That's right." Johnner says, "Wow, man. So, what did you do?" Ripley says, "I died." Many of the creature effects, casting, and mold-making crews, some long-standing, heavily contributing members, were omitted from the credits, supposedly due to budget concerns. The Indian Censor Board, CBFC, deleted the scene heroin operation doing by scientists and removing small species from worm, deleted the scene doctor checked a woman and man coming to the room, deleted the scene bomb blast in spaceship, deleted the scene a man are seating on wheelchair and man are talking to woman, deleted the scene 5-6 soldiers are sleeping on stretcher and scientists operating them. There are scientists standing in the room in a glass chamber, man and species together. Delete the scene man and woman fighting. Delete the scene woman is massaged by man. Delete the scene a scientist operating a spices and teasing in. Delete the scene two women are discussing. Delete the scene hero and villain are fighting, species are fighting. Delete the scene species are killing a man. Delete the scene soldiers are collecting the weapons. Delete the scene seating on wheelchair, man firing on species. Deleted the scene species are killing two men. Commander throws hand grenade in species and blasts ship. Delete the scene a woman are firing on species. Delete the scene heroine firing to glass chambers and kills her friend. Delete the scene heroine and soldiers are coming in the room. All mans are dead. Delete the scene heroine and soldiers are trapped to species. Delete the scene species attack on face of the heroine. Delete the scene species attacks on soldier. Another soldier fires on species and it. Delete the scene two women are discussing. Delete the scene two women are discussing. Delete the scene two women are discussing. Delete the scene heroine hits to villain. Delete the scene heroine are sleeping on species. Delete the scene heroine and species are together. Delete the scene two mans are walking and man injured by bullet. Delete the scene men are falling down. Delete scene species loving the heroine born species kills soldier. Delete the scene species shuts the door with woman soldier. Delete the scene species attacking woman. Another soldier diverts its attention. Delete the scene species killed a man and tried to kill women. Delete the scene heroine attracts species and breaks the glass to kill species for a UA certificate for TV viewing. What they do, show 5 minutes of the movie in India television, edited into 5-second movies, Alien Resurrection, 2009. Soundtracks on Popeye the Sailor Man, written by Samuel Lerner as Sammy Lerner, whistled by Dominique Pinon, uncredited. All right. Here's an IMDb review that's much lower than mine, giving it a 6 out of 10. This is from Andy A. Joff Laherty, dated September 14th, 2023. A recent IMDb review, it's called Not to Be Taken Seriously, set some 200 years after the events of Alien 3. Alien Resurrection follows a group of scientists who are desperate to get their hands on some aliens to study. They achieve this, questionably, I might add, by obtaining some DNA from the long-dead Ellen Ripley and cloning her. Eventually, they are successful, and they extract the alien queen she had in her chest, and they begin their research. Thing is, the DNA has been slightly muddled, meaning the aliens now have some human traits, along with a more organic appearance, and Ripley is not quite herself. A band of mercenaries drop off some test subjects for the scientists to impregnate, and all hell breaks loose. The aliens are much smarter now, so escape with ease and run amok. But Ripley is now super strong and has acid for blood. Together, she and the mercs must stop the aliens reaching Earth. And that is Alien Resurrection. Now my computer is cooperating. We'll see if Alien versus Predator is on my list. And it is not. I've got AVH, Alien versus Hunter, but no Alien versus Predator. So I'm going to see about adding those 5 movies to my list. Aliens versus Predator, Requiem, Alien versus Predator, Alien Covenant, Prometheus, and Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invasion. Sorry, Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders. So it looks like Karate Man's retracted all of his chats. He's got the hots for some actress who just happened to be sitting next to Sigourney Weaver at a scary demon convention. All right. So let's see about upgrading my list with a bunch of alien stuff later.